What's he unboxing? What it be? I don't know. Shut up and see. Before I get into the unboxing proper, let me just take a moment to say I hope you guys appreciate the level of restraint I show at every unboxing, in particular the SUNTUP unboxings, because this came in the mail. I've been staring at this box for about 12 hours. Now, granted, 8 of those hours I've been asleep, but I've been still staring at the box, dying for the moment I could do my little setup, I can get in front of the bookcase, and I could share it with you. So I think that needs to be applauded. I mean, you throw in the comments a little clapping emoji or something, because I show incredible willpower when these boxes arrive on my doorstep. So yeah, you're welcome. And the reason I do that is because I want to share books that perhaps people might not have gotten. You know, that's the whole mission of this channel, is so I can show you the things that perhaps you didn't get to see, you maybe didn't buy, maybe you can learn about other publishers, other authors, whatever. So I'm like Mother Teresa in the small publishing community. I'm doing such a service. Where's my Medal of Honor? Anyway, it also gives me a chance to geek out to a device that can't roll its eyes at me with every stupid thing I say. So there's that buffer. Well, let me just say, also, it's a whole series of let me just say. I hope you know every step of the way I'm asking permission. You can't give it because you're on the other end of this device, but it just makes me feel better to say, well, I asked permission. Anyway, if there's one book I needed to own from SUNTUP, it's this book. It's The Road. This was a must-have. There was no way I was going to miss out on getting this book. It is perhaps the best book ever written, hands down. I remember finishing it on my way home from work one day. I was on the Metro, and I was sobbing my ass off, which is hard to do because my eyes are up here and my ass is down here. So you got to imagine the level of trauma when you're sobbing here and your ass just shoots right off. I had to get it in the Lost and Found later on, and it was hard to ask for something like that because it's hard to walk up to the Lost and Found when you don't have an ass because your legs really don't work. It's complicated, but this book is the perfect book. And SUNTUP is the perfect publisher. I'll just go ahead and say it. When Paul said in an announcement or a teaser or whatever that he was going to do a book by a Pulitzer Prize winning novelist, I knew it was The Road, and I lost my mind then. And then he announced The Road, and I lost it again. Anyway, this is, you know, I know I did that epic intro on my last video for a SUNTUP book. Rosemary's Baby. This one is one of those things that's so epic that an epic opening wouldn't do it justice. So why even bother? This is the best book. Whatever. Blah 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 blah. Here it is. Again, form-fitted foam. We've been here before, very recently with Rosemary's Baby. And then, of course, the bookmark, which will never be used because I will never read this edition. It's horrible to say, but it's true. I have a reading copy. This will not be in my grubby hands after I've eaten chicken shawarma. You know, those are the dangers. This won't be in my hands as I'm sitting on the Metro. You know, it's not. Promotional items, love it. So I love these things too. I got one of these little letters with Haunting of Hill House is talking about the keyhole. I'm not going to try to say that word. The keyhole on the cover and all that stuff. So we got another one with this. It says, please note the book does sit snug in the slipcase. So even a little sheet like this, a little something like this, is going to stay with the book forever. These boxes, I don't know. With these boxes, I write the book that came in this box, and I stack the box up so that I always have the box it was shipped in when if I ever move. I have form-fitted foam for those books. Anyway, whatever. You don't need it. Look at this. Look at this. Now, what you're not getting is the weight of the book. The book feels heavy. Heavy. It feels heavier than Rosemary's Baby, but it's about the same size. This is interesting because it came in a little bag here. Oh my God. This book is sold out, as it should be. It took forever to sell out, in my opinion, because, like I said, this is the best book ever written. You can't feel it, but it's cloth. It feels very substantial, of course, and I love what Paul is doing with the ends of the slipcases. He didn't do it with Haunting of Hill House, but he did it with Rosemary's Baby. He sort of puts this edging on the slipcase, which makes a better presentation, I think, but also maybe perhaps protects it. It just adds a layer of elegance to it. And then I love this because check this out. There's like a curve here that goes perfectly along with the spine of the book. If you're hearing screaming in the background, that's my dog. I got a Japanese chin, and she's batshit crazy. So there's a little curve here. And, I mean, again, for this book, this feels so right. Okay, see? This is what he's talking about. Fits a little snug. So you got to do that. And in that letter, Paul gives you permission to do that. If you're getting this book, you'll get that letter. Wow, look at that. I mean, you know, one thing I love about SUNTUP books is that curve on the spine. I guess you can't do it with some of these bigger, oversized editions because they go like straight across. But there's that curve on the spine there, and and the binding is just so tight, as Tuco would say from Breaking Bad, if you're a fan of the best show on that's ever been on air. Anyway, so there's this inset image. I'm gonna, just marvel at this book. And again, even in these videos, you really have to hold the book to understand the quality and the way it feels is just amazing. So apparently these are mango leaves on the end papers. I mean, Paul thinks of every little detail. Frontispiece. Now this isn't signed by CORMAC McCARTHY because that would have been, this book would have been probably a $10,000 book. I don't know. CORMAC McCARTHY wrote this book as a love letter to his son, and apparently he signed 250 copies of the first edition of this book and gave them all to his son, and he vowed he will never sign another copy. And if there's ever a copy floating around for sale, it's because CORMAC McCARTHY's son sold it. So there was no way in hell Paul was going to get CORMAC McCARTHY's signature on this book. Nobody is bemoaning that fact, because you'd have to be an idiot to bemoan that fact. But Joyce Carol Oates did the intro to this book, and she signed it, and she's a heavyweight. I mean, that's an impressive get. As well as the artist who did the wood carving that's on the cover, and the interior illustrations, which I'll get to. So those are the signatures. My number 23. It's blissful to see that number. I'll see it a few more times. Brother, I Am Legend, and Time Machine coming. So this book was printed offset, which made the price comfortable. Let me just say that. And again, I don't understand, with such a nice price point and such an exquisite book, why it took a little bit to sell out. It should have sold out immediately, if not sooner. But whatever. I'm so happy I got my copy. The artwork is stunning. Paul picks some really incredible artists. I didn't even appreciate how awesome the artist was for Rosemary's Baby till I held it. Wow. It's just incredible. But perhaps the most beautiful feature of this book is this one right here, right on the copyright page. If you see, if I'm doing my job here, that Y, that's part of an Easter egg that Paul baked right into the first 5 of his books. And he gave a prize to the person who discovered there was an Easter egg in Misery. There's a letter. There are letters in the first 5 of his books, and they conclude with the road, and they spell out the name of Paul's father. And he did it as a way to memorialize his dad, as a way to honor him. And I think it's just beautiful, where it came together on this road, on this book, which is a love letter from father to son. So it's a very powerful thing. Anyway, he gave a PC lettered edition of The Time Machine to the person who discovered the Easter egg, that there was something buried, some clues in the first 5 books. And then he gave a numbered Misery, which is long sold out, hard to find, worth at least $4,000 on the secondary market. But he gave that person that discovered the solution to the Easter egg a red numbered Misery, which is one of a kind, or well, maybe one of 5. Anyway, it's quite a prize, and it's a beautiful story. And I think there's so much about SUNTUP that ties into the emotional impact of book collecting and what these stories mean to us beyond really fine materials and really beautiful stories, that this is really something that we cherish, and these are treasures. And so I think that is the most beautiful part of this book. It's a tribute to his dad, and I don't know. Again, I'm a stuttering fool because I've always been that way. So sorry you couldn't get this if you're looking for it. There are some on the secondary market already. I will never part with this. So if you ever see number 23 out there, arrest that individual. Just do a citizen's arrest. I'll send you a whistle. No, I won't. I can't afford to send all the 10 people who watch this video whistles, because I buy books and I'm not that rich. So, well, I'm not rich at all. That's depressing. On that note, check out, Paul's still got a few books. He's got the artist edition of I Am Legend still available. That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me. So get on it. He also has copies of Brother left. He also has copies of I Am Legend numbered edition left at the posting of this video, of course. So if 20 years from now people see this video, I'm assuming they'll be all gone. But I also assume nobody's going to be watching these videos in 20 years. So it's a safe thing. Anyway, I'm just going to go back to staring at this book.